Hey everyone, Josh here with J&T's Journey, and we do a lot of camping in winter, so today I'm here to talk about 4 methods to stay warm in an AVan in winter. Hey everyone, Josh here with J&T's Journey, and welcome to our AVan Cruiseliner, the Honeypot. Today I'm here to talk about 4 methods that we use to stay warm in our AVan in winter. Now, some of these are off-grid tips, some of these are not off-grid tips, some of these apply to both. So we're just going to go for a quick video through some of the ways that you can stay warm in an AVan, because let's face it, it can get pretty cold in these things. They do have insulation, but the insulation is not so great if you camp in temperatures, approaching or below 0 like we do. So let's get into it, and I'll show you the first method for staying warm in an AVan in winter. The first method for staying warm in an AVan in winter is to do with sleeping. And let's be honest, if you're just sitting in the camper and you want to be more comfortable, you can throw on an extra jacket. It's a cool day today. I've got an extra jacket on. I don't have the heater running in here at the moment or anything like that. But when you go to sleep, you're going to want to be warm, because nothing sucks more than trying to sleep in the freezing cold. We recently had an experience where we were sleeping on an air mattress. We didn't have enough insulation and the sleeping bag wasn't warm enough. It sucked. So what do we do from a bedding perspective in order to stay warm? So the very first thing is a quality doona. Now, we actually run a queen size doona in the camper, mainly because when the two of us are in a bed, we like to wrap ourselves up in the doona, and a double just doesn't quite do it. So good quality doona cover. Next, a nice warm fitted sheet. So the fitted sheet on here is furry. This is the only way I can describe it. It's like almost like a mink fitted sheet that we got from Spotlight. This thing is excellent. We actually put one in here after we bought one for our bedroom inside in the house, and we found that with this fitted sheet, we stay an awful lot warmer on the bed, because you can lose a lot of heat through the mattress if you don't have a suitable amount of insulation underneath you. Underneath that, we have a mattress pillow topper. Now, this is not to be confused with a foam mattress topper. This is a mattress pillow topper. And if you've watched our How to Make the Bed video, you will see that we actually make this on the bed instead of making the mattress itself, because underneath that is a foam topper. So insulation on the bed and good bedding is the first tip to stay warm in an AVan Cruiseliner in winter. The second tip to staying warm if you're on a powered site, and this is only one that's going to work if you're on a powered site, or if you've got access to 240 volts, generator, big inverter setup, etc., is a fan heater. Now, we don't typically use a fan heater in ours because we have something else that we use to keep us warm when we're out and about. But these are a really good low-cost option to keep the camper warm when you are available on a powered site. Now, most of these fan heaters do come with a warning: don't run them overnight unattended. I wouldn't want to run one of these, especially if one like this is an older one. This is one that I pinched from inside just for the purposes of the video. Especially if you've got an older one like this one that doesn't have a thermostat, I wouldn't recommend running this one overnight. But while you're sitting in the van in the evening, cooking, etc., whatever you want to do, this is a good option. Just make sure that whatever power supply you're plugged into has a decent power supply, and you're not heating the hot water and running this at the same time. Because on max, if you're running this on max and you're heating the hot water off electricity, you could pop your circuit breaker, and that would make for a really bad day. So fan heater is the second option, if you're plugged in anyway, that is, to keep your AVan warm in winter. The third and fourth options that we consider viable options to heating your AVan in winter, and bearing in mind there are other ways that you can heat your AVan. This is not an absolute guide on the only ways you can do this. There are definitely other methods for heating your AVan. These are just the ones that we recommend. The next option to heat your AVan is this. So if you've got an AVan Adventure Plus or you've got an Adventure Pack with the air conditioner fitted, the standard air conditioner is a reverse cycle air conditioner. In the 1D model, they're located under the bed. In the other arrangements, I'm not entirely sure where they are. I'm not too familiar with the other layouts. But if you put this in a heating mode, you can heat your camper again if you're plugged in with the air conditioner. I will say this is a good option when the ambient temperature outside is not too cold, sort of down to approaching zero. These do work. We do find, however, if you're going to use it, you are better off, and that's covered in stuff. Sorry, just the remote's looking a bit dodgy at the moment, but it's just been sliding around in the drawer. If you are using the air conditioner, try and set it with the remote. I'm going to have to clean that later. Interesting discovery. Setting it with the remote seems to make the air conditioner work a little bit more effectively. So, third option, if you're plugged in, you can use the reverse cycle air conditioner to heat the camper if you're plugged in. The last option, and our preferred favourite, is to fit a diesel heater. We honestly think if you're going to heat an AVan, if you're going to go out camping in winter, a diesel heater is absolutely the way to go. When I put the diesel heater into the honeypot, I put a 5 kilowatt diesel heater in here. I would honestly only recommend a 2. The 5 kilowatt is more than enough, and quite often we run the vents on the roof wide open with the diesel heater on its lowest setting, and unless it's below 0 degrees outside, it's almost too hot inside the camper. I've located our diesel heater control panel just here next to the sink. I've actually rearranged this entire panel here so that we've got everything available for all of our controls for our hot water, microwave, etc. are all located on this panel. Now I'll quickly lift the bed and I'll show you where I've put our diesel heater, and I'll show you where the fuel tank is, and I'll talk a little bit about why we've mounted it where we've mounted it and why we've put the fuel tank where we have. Our diesel heater is located in the right-hand compartment underneath the bed. It's mounted through the floor, so the exhaust goes out there. It draws in air through the vents around the cupboards here, pulls in cool air on that side, exhausts out that side, and the vent comes out in this little side panel here just next to the bed. The floor is pretty dirty in here. I haven't cleaned up since I was last in here, so I do apologise for that. I'll quickly show you how the exhaust is rigged up, and then I'll show you where the fuel tank is. We're at the back of the honeypot now, and you can see if we look underneath behind the wheel here, we've got the air intake, which is just held up here with a little saddle clamp. The outlet from the diesel heater is in the floor here. You can see there's a big hole cut in the floor for it. Fuel line, exhaust. Now I do recommend upgrading the mufflers. This is an ultra quiet muffler, and it is very quiet. The fuel pump in this is the noisiest thing. I do need to upgrade this so that it doesn't make so much noise. There's some extra insulation tricks that you can do. And the exhaust just runs along the chassis and exhausts in the back corner here. I will say, if you're going to fit a diesel heater, don't exhaust the exhaust underneath the bottom of the van, especially if you've got the air conditioner fitted. It can result in fumes getting back into the cabin of the van and giving you a headache and potentially asphyxiating you. So do make sure that wherever you fit the exhaust, it's exhausting into free air. It's not going to run underneath the van and potentially result in fumes getting into the van. Coming up to the front, I've got the fuel tank mounted to the front bin here, and the reason I have mounted it here is so that when we're filling up at the servo, it's easy to get to. And I've put the fuel tank on this side because on my vehicle, Ruby, our 2022 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon, has the fuel filler on the passenger side. So I've also put the fuel tank for the diesel heater on the passenger side so that when you fill up at the pump, you don't have to worry about trying to reach a fuel pump across to the other side of the camper when you're filling up to go away. This tank didn't come with this diesel heater. I purchased this tank separately. These tanks are not that expensive and they do work quite well. I also have a Safari level sensor on there, which is wired into our system, so I always know exactly how much fuel we have, even if it's too cold to come outside and see what the fuel level is. So there you go. I hope you've enjoyed that little video on our 4 recommended methods to stay warm in your AVan Cruiseliner. If you've got a method that we haven't listed, please let us know. Share us, leave a comment below. Tell us how you keep your AVan warm. There are multiple ways to do this. Just because we've showed you these 4 methods does not mean that these are the only 4 ways to do it. Thanks everybody for watching the video. If you'd like to support us, please like, subscribe, share the videos. If you want to help us along on our journey, you can become a YouTube member where you will get early access to videos, priority responses to comments and more. Check that out in the link in the description below. We have got our first YouTube member, so way to go. It's great to see the channel growing, and we want to help push our content out to as many other people as possible. If you have an idea for a video, if there's something that you want to see us do a video or a feature on with our setup, please leave a comment below. Thanks everybody for watching. I'm Josh with J&T's Journey. Cheers.